Good evening, children. Welcome into the stream. It's Commander Swifty, or Ineffectual Gamer, as I'm probably better known because of the name of the channel and everything like that. So, tonight, what's the deal tonight? So, I am with some other people from Discord who obviously are long time people in the stream. Can't quite see them because of their names. So I think what I'm actually going to do, so we know what's going on, I'm going to change my video capture over to here. Feels weird, but I think you can probably deal with it for one night. We may have some noise coming from outside because we've currently got I've currently got the window open. I love how YouTube sends me messages telling me I'm live. So, yeah, okay, so let's join the other guys. Let's have a look.
Options. Click on the options and select leave wing.
So, I'm in here with Bob. Do you want to say hello, Bob?
I got it.
I think they must have been doing something. Hello, Bob.
Yeah, I got you, Swifty.
Okay, I'm in here with Zoomski.
What up?
And I'm also here for the first time, although not the actual first time, but the first time with voice, Scott Templar.
Hello.
Or Commander Scott Templar, even. So, Scott's been... I think Scott's joined me on a couple of things before. I think he might have done a...
We did a wing mission once.
We did a wing mission. Did you not do a mining mission once as well? Or is this the first time?
I think this is my first time.
Okay.
I just recently unlocked Selene for the hull. Finding that penite was a pain.
Painite, that's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you unlocked Celine Dion for a second. Right, okay, so enough of the bad jokes. They're all in HD 122510, so I'm going to go join them now. Okay, you can feel free to talk amongst yourselves, gentlemen. In actual fact, I might put push to talk on here so the whole stream doesn't come across. Push to talk, there we go. That's the pizza. Hey, Pizza Man, how's it going? Oh, 2 in a row.
I still can't see you, Bob.
No, I don't know what the hell's going on. I can see him.
Right, hold on, I'm going to drop out.
Am I in the right system? HDD 122510.
Yeah.
BC2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, as Andrew Dice Clay would say. Right, so I'm going to make my way over to them, Pizza Man. So we're in a full wing, or at least we did until Zoomski dropped out. And we are off to do some mining. So I'm in a pretty good mining ship here. Type 9, if that one doesn't clip me. See, this is what I hate about this game. He had no right of way there, and I'd have got in trouble. Okay, we'll take the landing gear off, because we seem clear now.
Right, I've locked onto Scott now. Shall I come in on him?
Yeah, come in on him. Okay, if you guys can send me another invite, I'll rejoin the link.
Will do. I'm not... Is Scott in the mining ring yet?
Yeah, I am.
Ah, okay, cool, yeah. I know, it's a real shame, Pizza Man, as well, because I don't even have an Xbox, so... I can't even really promise anybody to drop in on Xbox, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I know it sounds a bit naff, but you can always come along on these in spirit. So if ever I'm visiting somewhere, or we're visiting somewhere as a group, you can always come along to that
Well, it's
location.
all going well so far.
Yeah.
I'm in two things here. I need this window open because it's super hot now. Well, not super hot, but we're getting into the summertime, so right, who am I locking on? Guess I'm locking on to Scott, because everybody else seems to be. And so yeah, the last couple of days I've come back from a long range mission. I am. Oh, actually, I think that's his wing drop, not his location. I've been on a long trip to Colonia. Then I came back and decided that I don't truly want to do those trips to Colonia in the same way again. So I'm kind of engineering my ships to try and get them up to a decent jump range, so that I can use the neutron highway and get the benefit of that. And so that's the engineering part. Takes a long time, and it's a bit of a nightmare. Oh well, yeah, you've kind of missed out, Pizza Man. I have got a slight bit of whiskey, tiny little bit, and I've got a shandy. We don't do cocktails in here. And the reason is I'm currently I had some problems with my feet for quite a long time, and it turns out that it might be in relation to drinking. So I'm cutting down at the moment. Not to say cutting it out, because I like drinking. No Irish in me, just general hard drinking English. And I've kind of cut it down during the week. So I thought tonight I'm doing a nice stream that I was going to enjoy. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'll have a whiskey before I go on the stream, just to kind of get me ready for it and get me in the mood. So now I'm in stream. It's just shandy, unfortunately, and a lot of water and greens as well. I have to eat a lot of greens. But the good news is what, a month ago I went on this diet and this kind of cutting drinking down and stuff, and I've gone from kind of not being able to walk very well to I climbed my first real mountain the last weekend. I mean, not all of it, of course. I can't remember, 1,500 meters or something, I think I climbed. Yeah, so this is definitely working, and it's not necessarily a permanent thing. It just means that I just have to be a bit more wary of it. Sometimes you can get a bit carried away, and just my general diet as well. Like, I'm a really big meat eater, so vegetables. My attitude was always, well, the animal eats the vegetables, so I'm eating the vegetables. What does it matter? But I'm trying to kind of get into eating a bit better as well. Kathina, it's been a couple of days. Kathina's in, boys.
Hey, it's the goddess.
Where have you been? Have you got yourself a fella, or just business good? So it's just that, I'm just taking care of myself. But if you catch me on a stream on a weekend, probably on Sundays, you'll probably see a drunken me, because I'm going to do a stream after I've done my long walk. I'm going to come home, dip my feet in some water, do a big stream, but have a couple of drinks while I'm streaming. So that's always going to be good fun. And it is only Southerners, Kathina. Like I said, we don't do cocktails in here.
You at last.
Yeah, E3 was great, wasn't it? Did you see the Division?
I think we should fly
I
away
was like
from
that.
this wing of cutters. Sorry, clippers.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I just flew past them.
They're just stuck there, you know, not doing anything. I think there's an instance problem there.
But
Yeah.
you know the game that's by the people by Dotnod who made not I'm gonna say The Last of Us, not The Last of Us, who made Life is Beautiful. Life is Beautiful or Life is Strange. It turns out that my friend
They've
is
gone off the radar now, Zoomski.
my friend's the global PR manager for them,
Alright.
for Dotnod and Square Enix. So fingers crossed, I might be able to get some review copies. You got to get come on, you've got to get the Division 1 first. Well, I thought they released enough information on Beyond Good and Evil, though, don't you think? Dave, and welcome in. You've got to play the Division 1, Kathina, seriously. Anytime you want to play it, I swear I will... I'll take time. You know how much I love that game. The only thing about E3 this year was there was no real kind of surprises that blew me away. There was Cyberpunk 2077 I was really happy with, but they've said it's first person and the trailer kind of made it look more third person, so I'm not adverse to first person. But if they've done it right, which I can't think they haven't done it right. I really can't. I really can't. Yeah, I think hopefully it's multiplayer, Kathina, and I can join you in it, because I seriously think it's going to be good. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, unfortunately, you know, Assassin's Creed, mate. Assassin's Creed, Dave, that's how it's always been done, that's how it will always be done. So... Did you think it looked amazing? I thought it looked good, but I'm gonna have to stay reserved on it. That's first person as well. You know how much I liked it, 'cause I played it the other week on the retro stream, which I might be preserving for Friday nights now, just so you know. Oh yeah, I never thought about that, Kathina, actually.
I take it we're waiting for Swifty to arrive.
I've actually arrived. You can probably start now. I think I've boosted away from anything that might have been near me. Oh, it is? Okay. God, I hope they have the... I didn't like Resident Evil 4.
Commence Operation Shoot Swifty's Prospectors.
You shoot any of my prospectors and I'll ram the hell out of you.
Promises.
I've got a shield, don't forget. A new Fallout game could be good as well. I mean, I still haven't properly done Fallout 4. Okay, this looks like a nice rock here. I mean, who's that? Because I don't know what that is.
Points.
It's really weird.
Hard points deployed.
Thought he was talking about something else. Thought you were talking to your girlfriend there, Bob. Right, okay, got a nice big one. Yeah. Here, so I need to get used to my thingamajig. Right, okay, yeah, that's it. And the prospector is away. Okay, I need to go to weapons.
Deploy cargo scope.
Oh wait, I think I know what's going on here. My cargo hatch is disabled.
It's not a good way to start mining.
No.
You'd have to come in through the cockpit.
I don't know,
Or wind the window down.
he reminded me.
Was yours disabled too?
Not disabled, but I didn't have it open. Oh crap, wrong one. Hey Aladskar, by the way, I did see your message, I wasn't ignoring you. I have destroyed it. Might have to just drop down a little bit here. I don't like the way I keep getting a limpet error. Yeah, I mean Starfield. Hang on, have we finished that one? Okay. Let's see what we've got. Are they all just sitting there? Yep. Oh, there's two coming back. Okay, so. Right, it's probably going to take me a couple of minutes to get used to the new setup I've got, because I've got a little bit of a difference on here, but I'm going to try and get used to it. But yeah, I mean it was a very, very slight announce, so I'm not expecting anything quickly, Kathina, but it's nice to see it being announced, definitely. What do we got here? I'm looking for osmium. Did anybody pick up any missions, by the way?
Yeah, I got one for osmium.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too. I guess it's not going to be here. Yeah, I mean, well, he's always been a bit off the reservation, Kathina, but it is a really strange one. But, you know, you can't judge a lot of games. You really can't judge them till you see them. It's hard not to. You know, we're all gamers, but,
This asteroid has 12% osmium.
Quick, Bob, get over there. Let him blast it off and you just collect it. Right, let's see. I really don't know what we're going to shave off this one, because I think...
Well, we are in pristine metallic, and that's where you get lots of osmiums.
Right, okay, that looks a bit better. How's the mining laser out of range at this range? Seriously. Right, okay. So we want to go switch it. Gonna take me a while, folks. No, not switch it. Shave it. Switch it. Got a fair amount of gold here. I need to really be picky as well with some of these ones today. Oh no, Dave. No, I just thought there's 4 of us. You know, we just thought. I think a few of us have been doing mats collecting and stuff the last few nights and the last week or whatever, and we're kind of just having a chill out night. So you're in Texas, Scott. Whereabouts in Texas are you?
I'm in San Antonio.
Is that the place with the bridge with all the bats?
Yeah, largest bat migration just outside of San Antonio. Never been, but here it's supposed to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've never been either. I just know loads of weird crap facts about places. So you live in the home of the steak, but you're originally from California, is that right?
Originally from Texas, and then I moved to California for most of my childhood life, and then came back here because it was just too expensive in California.
You don't have a Texan accent, though.
No, so some people can tell that I'm from Texas, but most people can never tell.
So where originally in Texas are you from? San Antonio or somewhere else?
San Antonio.
Okay. Are you? Well, I don't know if you like sport. Are you a Spurs fan?
No, but they're all over here. Everybody here is a Spurs fan. When they win, they're honking their horns down the street.
I can imagine.
Everybody. It gets kind of crazy here.
Well, it's one of my dreams. I'm a really big football fan. One of my dreams is to go to Texas to watch some high school football because I know how crazy they are about football there.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Prospector off.
I still think we have the best tacos.
Well, you're so close to the border, there's no excuse not to be honest.
That is true.
I'm a huge Mexican fan. Who's just parked on top of me? That would be Zoomski. How did I guess?
1 second.
Oops, sorry. Something got in the way of the asteroid there. I really don't know, Dave, actually, to be totally honest.
That was fun, man.
I've just lost my prospector now. Dagnammit. Where's my prospector? Let me do it to the contacts. I better hurry up because I'm going to lose it otherwise. Right, here we go. Let's take this bit seriously. Come on.
There's a lot going on over there, huh?
Fly my monkeys. Oh, only one of them went. Why are my monkeys not
Far
flying?
Too much fun, this.
Because we're not close enough or something. It's really strange. Maybe I just depleted it. Maybe it was. 4 blokes and a bounty. Yeah. Don't want to get caught out here, right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting if some Thargoids came and tried to mess with us instead of regular NPCs all the time.
Have you met a Thargoid yet?
Once, but it wasn't. I had to do it intentionally.
You know, if you just take a trip out to Maya, you'll run into them like they'll hyperdict you at least once a trip.
I got to Obsidian Orbital, and somebody wanted to do some Thargoid hunting. I was never able to get my ship there in time, but when I finally got it there, he wasn't there anymore, so I went on my own, and I got my butt handed to me right away.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Blew up my ship.
I've only actually been attacked once, but it was by I can't remember whether it was by a scout or something.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, please, after you.
Yesterday I got to Lav Station, and somebody wanted to, do a combat, with crimes off. I was like, all right, sure, why not? And I go out there, and my chieftain, he beats my ass on a orca, and it's like, how is a guy in a short bus going to beat me up here? But anyway, so needless to say, kind of sucked.
It's just so I think sometimes it's just down to experience. I bet I can get beaten by a DBX while I'm in an Anaconda. I'm sure of it.
DBXs can be killers. They really can. Yeah, if you get the right build on one of those, they're amazing.
Alright.
Why are my things?
But yeah,
not
right
going
now
up
I'm
to
only
fragments?
what do you call it? Competent in my combat.
They're on the ignore list. What an oddball I am. Okay, at least the collectors have failed. At least I know what I'm doing now.
I was
What a
just
stunt.
surprised at the maneuverability of the orca.
Oh yeah, it maneuvers really well.
You wouldn't expect it to look at it. It almost looks like the size of an anaconda.
Hey Brian, how's it going?
Not that one.
Let the cargo scoop up to get any speed up here, I think. We'll go to this one because it looks semi-stationary. And there's a couple of stationary ones around it, so we're going to go up and then off to the left. Yeah, now it starts turning. Now it starts turning. Why? What happened, Brian? We've got Galite, Platnite, a lot of things that aren't particularly needed. I don't know if it's the way I've set this up, but these lasers are at a shocking distance. Let's see. See, look at that. Yes, Elliscar, that's actually my housemate's doing that at the moment, because I was saying, like, there was a time when I was trying to get more veg in, and I thought, oh, you know what, I can do that by replacing the bread with lettuce, and it really works. It's not as good, but it's there. Right, let's see what happened, Brian. Wait, okay. Oh wow, you had a problem with your back. That's not a good thing. Time off work, I suppose, but not good.
Who's after osmium?
I am.
Yeah, Bob is and I am. I haven't come across one yet.
There's an asteroid here. First come, first served.
Go for it, Swifty.
Age before beauty, Bob. I think you might be younger than me.
I'm not actually. I don't think anybody's younger than me.
No, you take it, Bob. I'll find some. I'll be all right.
No, I'm fine, honestly. No. You carry on, mate.
This is the most British conversation possible.
You were getting very philanthropic in your old age, Swifty.
I know. It's a problem. I'm just going to deplete this asteroid first. Probably going to lose a couple of these limpets if they don't do what they're supposed to do. Oh, I've depleted it already, you fucking Doyle. You go into work, Brian. Get your doctor to write you off. Don't be going to work with a bad back. Argos certainly aren't worth it. Right, where's Zoomski? Let's have a look. Commander Zoomski, where is he? Oh, I'm still getting stuff, so I'm gonna have to do a flyby there. Right, I'm on my way, Zoomski. 1 second. Is it Brian? I didn't know. I always thought sick pay was full pay in England, especially if you're in a full-time job. I've been away from England for a while, don't forget, but I would have... I don't know. I don't know why I always thought it was full. Are you going Joe Pesci, Brian? What the f is funny about me? So Bob, I would never really talk to you that much, like, about regular things. You live in Port Talbot, don't you?
Sorry, what was that, Swifty?
Do you live in Port Talbot?
No.
Ah, okay.
Not far from Cardiff.
Ah, okay. I didn't know I can lock onto your limpet, Zoomski.
It's all about being in the wing.
Ah. So what do you do during the day, Bob?
Pardon?
What do you do during the day?
I'm retired. I'm a man of leisure.
Do you want to swap?
You what?
Do you want to swap? We can swap. You can come do my job and I'll take your position.
I potter up my allotment, get all the veggies in.
Is it scary that I actually look forward to those days? I love an allotment.
Well, everything seems to be growing well. It was all late this year because we had that late spring, didn't we, over here? So
Yeah, it's been, I mean, it's been pretty late everywhere. If you look at my photos on Discord, I was on a mountain side the other day and it was just covered in snow.
yeah, I saw that.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Pulled away too far, I think. There we go. Chip it off, chip away. Wrong one. Oh, do you know, that's the one other thing that miffs me off, Brian. Really, really annoys me. If you're on a part-time contract, you should not be allowed to be working 30 hours a week. That's the company taking advantage. That's when 0-hour contracts were first introduced. I was screaming at people to not accept them, to speak to their MPs, because you just can't live. You can't work in a world like that where you're not protected in any way. Because although it's, you know, though it's part-time contract, if you tell them to bugger off and you're not going to work those extra hours, then you lose your job. Wow, am I making that spin faster, or has it always been that fast? Look, we got this steady stream of them. Look at them all out there. Well, there's not that many actually. Can I get more? No. I've missed out now. They're all coming in. Look at them, big long line of them. I think the idea was actually brought forward by a Labour government, Brian. I'm going to be honest. But you know, the Labour Conservative ones. I think it was anyway. Right, let's see how much osmium we've got, because I'm not sure how much I need to collect. I think I need to collect 27. Okay, we've got platinum, silver. We can knock silver off the list, I think, to be honest. So, wait, if we... Oh, can't do it now. We need to add silver to the list. We don't want silver... Paint out, we've got a couple, because we're not looking for it. Sod's law. Right, let's try this one here. See what we've got on this one. Spinning a bit too much, but I think we can probably do alright. We'll do that here. And right now it's not very good, that one. Let's go find something else. The only thing is Zoomski's probably gone straight on and fired at some of these, so I might just go off a little bit to the right of him. Bloody hell, you've got it good, Elenska, haven't you? Or is that just because you've never had a day off? Oh, oh, oh. I'm gonna go backwards, please. What have we got here? Material content gallite now. No, thanking you. Let's go have a look at that big one there. Oh, is that the one I've just come from? Actually, I think it might be. Silver gallite, okay. Ah, stop it. Please don't expire. Oh, crap. Alright, let's switch over. So I'm talking about saying I'm out of range when I'm right next to the rock. I mean, I just don't understand what it is with my lasers these days. Look, 'cause this thing's gonna come around here and whack me in the face if I'm not careful. Oh, there's a big bit, so that's gonna whack all of my collector limpets now. Got a bit lucky there. Well, we can call it luck. It's actually a beautiful thing when you see them all coming in. Look. Let's have a look. We can knock silver off here, and we'll empty it out. Bins, refinery. Eject the silver. We should really have a good look at this and see what else we wanna get rid of. Actually, osmium's all right. Silver, I'll keep it and sell it. Platinum's all right. Gold's kind of 50-50. Got 9 osmium, which isn't actually too bad. Just a quick question: if you accept a mission, for example, for 27 osmium, and then there's another mission for 27 osmium, does that need to be 27 separate osmiums for each, or can you cash it in for both?
27 separate.
Oh, dang nabbit. It's a good job I didn't take that off the people I was repped with. When did they change that?
It's always been that way, as far as I was aware.
Oh, really? Okay. Is that... Am I going crazy or is that travelling away? Oh, we've got osmium. We have osmium. So we can see all my little flying monkeys. It's brilliant. I love it. I love watching them all do my bidding. Shut up, Malcolm. It's not that bad. We're doing it. We're doing it as a group. Trying to a little bit of chill time, you know. Kind of off the books. Alright, let's try that one. I don't know what anybody's got. This whole game's a bloody grind. I don't know how we can enjoy one thing over the other, to be honest. I really don't. Some days. Oh, okay, I depleted that one. I didn't realise it was that one. Okay, let's see. We've got a big one here. And that's what she said. Okay. See what we've got. Gallite. Don't really need gallite, but we'll chip it off nonetheless. Oh, right, okay, that's why. On to the next one. I'm always hopeful for a stationary one, but I don't seem to come across them as often as I'd like. Oh, they're hitting the bottom of that rock. I know they are. It's my own fault for not going around it. We've got still no osmium. Crap. Might get hit by the side of it here. Poof. That's Scott, I'm guessing.
Yes, it is. That was my text message.
Oh, we've got 10 osmium. I don't know where that other one came from. Right, let's see what else we can get out of here. So yeah, if anybody wonders why we're stupid enough to be mining, it's just because I think a lot of us have been doing other stuff, and it's like, just have a night off. Like, let's have a night off doing something else. By the way, Brian, are you still, hang on a sec. Are you still playing Grand Theft Auto? But what if it's too big and it slams into your limpets, Malcolm? I tend to try and shoot the opposite way of how they're rotating, and then it seems to like chip away. There's no exact science to it, but it seems to work. touch wood. This is a big one. Right, what have we got? I've got palladium. That's alright, I suppose. Bum. See what we've got refined there, because platinum, palladium's actually alright. See, all this stuff's alright. It's not silver's kind of the only one I really need to think about getting rid of. Oh, not that I haven't got rid of it, I mean that. I mean, I've said in the next few days probably going to do some more surface stuff again, some lore stuff, and kind of have a bit of a look around. And then hopefully if I can get
37% by night.
Oh wow.
Quick, I'll nudge him out the way and you lot chip it off. Right, so we got 9%. Oh, it's a bit close for comfort, isn't it? Let's try this one. I'm really not getting what I wanted here at all. I'm really surprised actually at how little osmium I've come across. Somebody else came across the osmium, not me.
Osmium is rare because of those missions.
That's what it looks like to me.
You mean it's not dropping in because I've picked up the missions?
No, it's
right.
just rare, full stop. Because of those missions. You can make far more through the missions than you can from just selling it.
They are pizza man. You can get enough stuff out of them. Just make sure you take a big cargo bay and everything and pick up as much as you can. Definitely worth having. Even just having a look at and scanning and everything, they're worth it. Jeez Louise. Oh, it's depleted, you idiot. Actually, there was one thing as well that showed up on the mission board. I can't remember its name now. Methyl something, but I haven't seen it at all in the whole time I've been doing it.
It's the ice mining that.
I've been to ice places though, looking for the diamonds. I think it's the ice place we went to looking for the diamonds. Can't remember, but I went there anyway. Right, okay, let's have a look.
Yeah. It's fickle and it's broke, isn't it? We gotta wait for all these updates to fix it.
Well, depends if they think it's broken, to be honest. Okay, this one's I haven't. Have I done this one? This one looks familiar. It really does. Yeah, because there's material here, so I think I've done this one. As in the osmium or something, Pizza Man. No, I don't think it does, unfortunately. I really don't. I mean, the whole game's just a complete grind fest, isn't it? I mean, not knocking it or whacking it, but could be a bit... I think, I always say the numbers could be a bit better in my opinion. I just don't think they favour your average player. I think they only favour the hardcore player, and the hardcore player will always find more time than the average player. And unfortunately, because of the lack of space games on the market, there's a heck of a lot of casual players play this game. Heck of a lot. And I think they get put off so quickly, which is a real shame. Jeez. Right, okay. Can't find a good spot here. I can't get too close because I'm going to get knacked by it. I don't want it to hit me.
I think you are right. The demographics of who plays this game really does make a difference.
Well, I've known so many kind of, you know, people who go, oh, finally a decent space game, and then they drop out just really quickly. There's actually a guy I've been following the last few days who, he's playing it really hardcore at the moment, but he's already kind of getting sick of it. He loved it at the beginning, now he's like, somebody said to him, oh, you have to, I just did 233 jumps, which of course isn't that far, and he's like, oh god, 233 jumps. I mean, 233 jumps is just sitting, isn't it? That's why Disney need to get the fingers out their asses. That's what they need to do. I mean, I was really hoping that at E3 they'd show a bit more of Starfield, but unfortunately they didn't. It was.
Is that an MMO, Starfield? Or is it a?
Nobody truly knows what it is yet. Really, because it was just kind of the name and the rumor, and then at E3 they literally showed about a 20-second trailer which said Starfield and had a flash of light.
Yeah, I saw that and I was disappointed. Thought it would be more.
I think it's a 2020 game. I don't think they've truly got it out the blocks yet. Let's see what we can find here.
See, what they want to do is bring out whatever they've got now, tell everybody it's a complete product, and
Charge
if you
27.
pay, I don't know, $27,000, they could have all the ships.
Funnily enough, they just released they actually released an E3 trailer, didn't they?
Did they really?
Yeah.
That Beyond Good and Evil trailer looked pretty good.
It did, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, most of the... It's sad to say it, but I think actually Microsoft probably had the best show, as in how it was put together. Ubisoft looked like they had the best games, but to be fair, it's Ubisoft. They seem to be like the McDonald's of corporate gaming. It's like they're up to about Assassin's Creed 52 already, aren't they?
Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it looks like a... I mean, I actually liked the new one now that it's taken some time out to really work on it, but it looks almost the same as the most recent one, with albeit little differences from Greece and Egypt, of course.
I like the Troyesque Greek fighting style that they've got in it now. That looked pretty good.
But I was surprised by the Division. I was generally surprised. I think they've made some changes which I think are going to make it better. Beyond Good and Evil looked really good as well.
Another one I was interested in was Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, that's going to be... I have no qualms. I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. But the only thing is I really don't know how far off it is. A lot of people seem to think it's quite far off.
Come out in 2077.
Yeah, maybe so. What I was really surprised this year is by the lack of stuff. Sony's press conference in particular was like, hey, look at The Last of Us. And that was pretty much it. So I'm not sure.
They've got this thing, haven't they, about releasing things when their competitors are releasing things. They all want to release things and make it a big thing, you know, and not be overshadowed by their competitors. So you get these shows like E3, and they only release like maybe a little bit of what they're actually working on, and then later in the year when they're doing their own shows, they're like, oh, look at everything we're doing, you know.
Yeah, but if you think about E3 in the past, it's actually been the place where they trump each other, because I remember when the PlayStation 4, I think it was PlayStation 4 got released, and Microsoft came out and did their bit, and then Sony were like, oh, you're going to be paying for that, or you're going to be doing that, you get it free with us.
You know, that's great, though. I think that's what they should be doing. I agree with you. Yeah, but I think that nowadays, I think they've learned a lot of lessons, and they're a bit more careful about the way they do things.
Yeah, I think.
But you're right. I think they should be sat around a table and like, right, you tell us what you've got coming out. You tell us what you've got coming out. You know.
Oh, it's a single player. Okay, okay. Hang on, which is the single player, Kathina? What have we got here? Let me try to get on that. Bird trained. It's getting hard. You did say that before, Pizza Man, actually. And I've just found somebody's limpet. Somebody's been in these parts. Which game are we on about, Kathina? Brian, are you dropping out? Alright, sorry mate. I'll catch you later on. I'll try and do a bit of GTA when I get some time, seriously. Okay, let's book in. Let's get in a little bit close on this one. Ah, right, it has. Oh, God. Kathina's saying Starfield was confirmed to be single player, so...
Ah, there we go.
But somebody must be looking at Star Citizen Elite and saying, hey, come on. That's where we should be going. In fact, can't remember who it was now. One company CEO was saying that space games are the new zombie games. They are going to be the future of gaming for the short term.
I think that from my point of view, that the issue that Elite has got, and this is the biggest issue Elite has got, is that it's so big. It's so big, it's so huge, it's got this massive story behind it, which they're not really utilizing. But that is also its biggest advantage as well, is that there's so much, you know, you can go and do, there's so much you can go and see. If I was going to run my own space MMO, you know, a Zoomski MMO in space, I think I'd do it right. Okay, there's been a big disaster. There's all this space out there to explore and go and do stuff. Off you go, and you build the story as you go along. And I think that's what I'd do. But you don't get that in Elite because you know they've got everything already, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the biggest complaints about this, I never complained about it, but one of the biggest things that people talk about is that there's no kind of storyline leading you on, which I don't mind the fact that there isn't, but I would like a little bit, like, I think Galnet is ridiculously underutilized.
The problem is, I get what you're saying, Galnet is getting better, but it will post up something that's happened somewhere. So you get in a ship and you literally belt it so many jumps to get to where that story is, and there's nothing there. There's no information. There's nothing that you can find, even though it's in Galnet. And you're like, well, why are you putting it in there? Why are you putting it in a system? Yeah, if there's nothing there for us to actually go and find, you know.
Yeah.
JXSR once turned around to me and said to me, if I could change something in Elite, what would it be? And my response was story. I said that there should be at least, every month, there should be 10 different story plot lines going on. The universe is big enough, yeah, to have at least 10 different stories. Can you imagine logging on to Galnet on Thursday and it's got like 10 different storylines going on? Can you imagine all that stuff that you can have a look at and go, wow, you know, you should be inundated with story. You should be saturated with it in this game because there's so much potential for stuff to be going on. There really is.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I've been saying in the past is that I honestly think they should have a group of 5-10 people who know the lore and everything, who sit there and write stuff to go into the game. That's my personal opinion. Each week there should be updates, because if you've got a game that's intended to be played over 7 or 8 years, you've got to keep that content coming.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with you, Swifty. You're right. You're absolutely right. And people wouldn't be complaining. People wouldn't be complaining about the grind. People wouldn't be complaining about this, that, and the other if they were actually feeling like they were playing part of a game, you know. And you're only going to get that with story content. And that's what I think is the biggest thing that's missing from this game. I love everything else about it. I love all the exploration. I even love doing this mining, you know. The thing that's missing for me is that they're bringing out these stories and you can't be a part of it. It's heart-wrenching sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was one of the things I've said over, what is it, No Man's Sky, is that, I know Scott plays No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky, although the galaxy feels emptier, sometimes the Elite Galaxy feels more empty than that.
Yeah, I get what you mean because in No Man's Sky, at least there's aliens almost everywhere you go, and there's some sort of NPC there. But even with when you go into the part of the galaxy in No Man's Sky where the galactic hub is, that's that's pretty awesome. You can see a whole bunch of people there. I think it has to do with you being able to walk around.
I think the other thing with No Man's Sky that I really like, because I don't stream it because I don't play it a lot. I've only played it a few times, and one of the things that I don't like about it is how cartoonish it is. But there's parts of it I absolutely love, like the fact that every planet you land on, there's all these different animals. And sure enough, sometimes they're very similar to others and whatnot, but you get paid for discovering them. You can name them. I just think that's a great thing, a great part of it.
That, and it logs everything everywhere you've been, and all the systems you've been to, all the planets you've been to, and in game. You don't need an external program.
Yeah, that's why I think Elite really need to look at that and say, Frontier need to look at that and say, okay, we should add that.
It's coming. The codex. It's coming.
Have you played No Man's Sky, Zoomski?
I have not, but I have friends who have, and they've shown it me. Because I've got quite a few friends who are into space games, and I got shown Eve. Eve was the first space game I played, but I got annoyed with that and I had to leave. And then I played, what did I play? Oh no, I played Guild Wars after that for a while. And then somebody showed me Elite, and I was like, wow, this is it. This is what I want to do, you know. And then I had a couple of other friends who were playing No Man's Sky, and they were playing it when all the scandal happened and everything. And they're still playing it now, because you're getting multiplayer soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're coming out with multiplayer soon.
Yeah, so that's going to change that game, it really is.
And ringed planets.
And ringed planets, yes. But I also got a friend who plays Star Citizen, funnily enough. And I get to see all the stuff that he's involved with on that as well. So
I bought No Man's Sky. I played it for about 3/4 of an hour. I gave up.
Really?
Sounds like me playing Subnautica.
Subnautica?
Yeah, it's like No Man's Sky underwater.
It doesn't appeal to me, that game, at all.
But why didn't it appeal to you, Bob? Is it because of the cartoonishness, or?
Yeah, it just looked like Popeye on steroids. I don't know.
Don't you mean Popeye on spinach?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but that was my point in the beginning, Bob. You kind of saying what I'm saying. I can't play it seriously because it has those kind of cartoony-like graphics. But when you actually look at what's in the game and what you can do in the game, I think it trumps Elite in a lot of ways. You know, the fact that every planet you go to has got different life forms. You can log them all. You can name them.
I realize that, but I don't know. I don't know what I expect alien life to look like, but I didn't expect it to look like some kid's cartoon.
And not forgetting that it was made by such a small team as well.
Yeah, I've played 316 hours of No Man's Sky.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore. I think I've played about 16. But the only part I didn't like about it, and you might be able to fill me in on it, Scott, is the learning the language.
Oh yeah, no, that's a bit grindy. I've never actually learned very many of the languages. kind of funny.
Yeah, because apparently if you learn the language, then you know how to deal with them.
Yeah, you respond better. You're able to respond better to what they're saying, and you can get really cool stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of curious as what they're going to do with this one.
There it is.
The other thing with No Man's Sky is they have like allegedly like 255 galaxies that you could travel to.
When you say 255 galaxies, so apart from the one you're in?
Yes. Yeah. So you first start in Usclia Galaxy, and then later on in the game, if you complete the Atlas Rises quest, you get a choice of galaxy you can go to. You can go to the perfect galaxy where everything's easy to get and all planets are beautiful, or you can go to another galaxy where it's like programming gone wrong.
Right.
And then another one that's like survival mode, where every planet you land on is wanting to kill you.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
that's one of the things that I liked about it is, you know, there was a sense of urgency in some of the survival modes when you played in survival mode, and even more so if you played in permadeath.
Well, I actually, funnily enough, on the Division, I play the survival mode, and I have to admit, it's one of the funnest modes for me, even though I don't survive most of the time. I really enjoy that mode in some games. It really works.
But yeah, I got No Man's Sky first, then in searching for No Man's Sky videos on YouTube, I came across some Elite Dangerous videos. And then after I saw it, I was like, I don't want to play No Man's Sky anymore. I mean, No Man's Sky is so easy. I could play it with a controller, and I feel okay with it. In this game, it just has too many controls to comfortably use a controller.
Yeah, well,
I mean, at least for me.
Bob uses a purely voice, well, for the majority of it, a voice system. I used to use something called VoiceBot, which does have an Elite add-on to it, and it works amazing. It's completely free, and it works amazing. And then there's even actually some things for your tablet, which you just map it and press it, and it works through your Wi-Fi, which is really good as well.
I broke down and got me a HOTAS.
It's always nice to fly with a HOTAS.
That's the first time I ever had one.
I think it's the word of the day. Pizza man. I haven't been reading my dictionary enough, that's my problem.
When this game first came out, I went to the store to shop and bought a HOTAS. And I put it on the counter to buy it, and he looked at me, looked at the HOTAS, and went, Elite, right? And I went, yeah.
I think I originally started trying to play it on the Xbox joypad, and then I was like, I'll sod this. But I actually went out and bought a €10 HOTAS, and touch wood, it's working really well. Okay, people. So if you're enjoying the stream, please drop it a like, and if you're really enjoying it, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to drop by in the chat and say hello, just like Pizza Man has, just like Athena has.
So Scott, having played both of them, what is it that Elite has over No Man's Sky?
Docking skill. You can either choose to have a docking computer, or you can try and dock yourself, whereas in No Man's Sky, you just press a button and you dock, or you land. You know, it's really simple to land. So, I mean, I like the complexity of Elite Dangerous more than No Man's Sky's simplicity. Yeah, even mining is more involved in Elite Dangerous, as amazing as that sounds. When you mine in No Man's Sky, you just use a mining tool, point it at something, and you collect it, and you can immediately turn it into something else.
I don't.
And I think mostly I just like the graphics better.
Yeah, it's a pretty game.
Why is everything not? Oh, cripes. There's a ton of stuff here and it's not collecting.
But if I'm like really
tired.
tired, yeah, I'll probably play some No Man's Sky, because I don't really have to think too hard on that one. Or if I feel like I want to get out of my ship and walk around on planets.
Shoot some aliens.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave, it's an
want
idea.
to play with Star Citizen, but I'm put off by the fact that, you know, they've raised like so much money, so there's the people out there paying their obscene prices for some of the things that they're offering, like that $27,000 you buy every ship in the game kind of thing, and I'm like, wow, that sounds very pay to play kind of thing.
Not even.
That's one thing I liked about Elite Dangerous. There is none of that.
Not even pay to play, more like just snake oil, downright snake oil.
Yeah, it's like not even released, and they're still. But I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, I was just curious, so I looked up how much like some of the more expansive games, and how like GTA 5. I mean, how much that cost, and it was like 200 million, something like that, just to make. So I was like, well, they've only got 156 billion, so they should probably produce something in the next 3 years, if that.
Yeah, but GTA was such a good game, you know, and it became, what is it? It's the largest, or it's the most money-producing media ever. Is GTA.
Yeah, overall
Wow.
it's made the most money. I think actually, I'm not sure if the day one sales is actually held by the division, but I think overall it's the highest ever money maker.
Yeah, not just game, any media.
Yeah,
TV,
yeah.
film, the whole lot, innit? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of movies at the moment, even still, a lot of the movie companies don't realize that they should be moving over to gaming. Because I honestly think movies could in theory become something of the past eventually.
It's kind of been written on the cards because during like the late 80s and the 90s, it got to the point where the toys they were bringing out for movies were making double what the movie made itself. So you would have thought that people would think, well, what are people playing nowadays? Games instead of with toys, you know?
I think the problem is that it's as ridiculous as it sounds, is that gaming is still kind of half frowned upon, especially for grown men.
Yeah, and here in the States, they still want to blame games for killing people, and it's like, no, no. It's just games do not produce violent people. And I heard about Cyberpunk 2077, and it's definitely not meant for marketed for kids. But Yeah, we have a advocacy group here called 1,000 or 1,000,000 Moms or something like that, and they come out against, you know, games or movies or whatnot that make them mad.
Yeah, these focus groups need taking out back and shooting. To be honest, in anything, in anything. I'm talking about everything. These focus groups are always the stupidest people who have nothing to do with it are selected. And the thing is that these parents talk about it, but they're the ones standing in line buying Grand Theft Auto for their kids.
Right.
I've happily pointed out to people when I've been in a computer shop, I've said to parents, that's an 18 game. That's not a children's game. And they're like, yeah, but he likes it. But I'm like, well, yeah, but pornography's for 18-year-olds, but you're not going to buy it for a 10-year-old, are you?
Yeah, can you imagine that? Yeah. It's a good point, Swifty.
I mean, I was playing, funnily enough, I was playing Grand Theft Auto earlier with one of my students who's like, he's 7, and he was willingly asking me to run people down in the street. But he's the kindest, cutest kid in the world. And when I said to him, it's a really evil thing to do to want to run them over, and he just turned to me and said, it's a game. It's not reality. This is a 7-year-old. And then there's these 35-year-old mums who can't get that point.
I'm in real life, I'm just a big, massive, colossal geek, and I go to conventions. I play role-playing games. I play tabletop board games. You know, and part of my hobbies is obviously online gaming as well.
You're right,
and
Dave.
I have maybe 2 or 3 different sets of friends, because some of my friends are not into the whole geek thing, but every one of them plays some sort of online gaming, whether that be via Xbox, PS4, or PC.
Well, I love it when people say, like, I know it's so crazy to think about, but people still say, gaming's not social.
Oh, I know, that is, what?
And I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, you know, I'm not that much of a geek, and although I love games, even kind of like the whole streaming thing is completely new to me. I cannot understand. I was watching something on YouTube earlier. I was watching ASMR. If you've watched that, try that. It makes my skin crawl, but some people apparently like it. And I was watching reaction videos. And I was like, reaction videos are the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But maybe it's just because I'm getting old and I don't get it.
Yeah, I've seen a few reaction videos, but you know, it's kind of funny. There's one reaction video that is like, you know, I never wanted to see the particular video they're reacting to, and it was 2 Girls, 1 Cup, and Joe Rogan was reacting to it, and I was like, okay, that's perfect. You know, as long as I don't have to actually see what they're watching.
I see. I get what you're saying, because I was watching one yesterday of Johnny Knoxville eating hot wings that were getting progressively hotter and hotter.
Oh yeah, I've watched those.
And I actually enjoyed that. But like, I was watching Bill Burr, because I'm really into comedy, and I was watching a reaction video of Bill Burr, and I was just like, I was thinking, why watch the reaction? Why not just go get the DVD yourself? But like I say, I'm getting old. I might just be, I might be out of touch. But at least I'm prepared to admit it. I don't blame the ills of the world on things I don't understand. Cats being jerks. I live with some Dave, so yeah, I totally understand.
Things change, Swifty. I was on the bus the other day, and there was 4 young school kids sat down discussing the technical differences between a PS4, an Xbox, and a PC. I thought when I was their age, I wasn't discussing, you know, things about Nintendos and things like that. I was discussing other lame things, you know. But yeah.
How old?
How old were they?
Yeah.
Oh, they were in secondary school, so I don't know, maybe 13, something like that.
Oh yeah, well, as far as I remember at 13, we just used to discuss how much bodily fluid we could produce. Well, not me in particular, but it was a...
Still do, Swifty.
Yeah. it was a conversation that always did the rounds. I was talking to somebody the other week about how when I was a child, I remember a Madonna video was banned because of a kiss, and now I'm watching these like not that I like it or anything, but watching these like kind of like Nicki Minaj videos and stuff like that, and thinking, "Geez, Louise."
Yeah. I remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer being on television. And me and my friends were massive Buffy Vampire Slayer fans. And I remember that the BBC banned a particular bit out of a particular episode where two girls kiss.
Huh.
Could you go online in them days, though?
Oh yeah, that's what we did. Once we wanted to see these two characters kiss. But yeah, it was the BBC just wouldn't have it on. And I was like, what? And that's not all that long ago. You know, we talk about like, you know, lesbian, gay, bisexual and all that nowadays, you know, and gay pride. And this was what, maybe not even 10 years ago? You know?
Oh yeah, it's a very different world. What we got here? Oh, my collector limpet's going. Come on. It's, I mean, you look at something like, well, you're probably too young for it, but back in the 80s in the UK, I think Bob might remember, the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre was kind of like this myth. You didn't really know whether it existed or not, because the odd person proclaimed to have seen it and how disgusting and horrible it was and whatnot. And you might have had like some dodgy VHS copy or Betamax copy going around. But then watching it as an adult, there's actually not a drop of blood in it. You don't see anything in the whole movie. But in the
one that...
Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say the other one that the cult movie that I heard stories about, and I never got a hold of it until I got online. But it was called Cannibal Corpse, or not Cannibal Corpse, but it was a cannibal movie, and it was just people were it got banned in several places because people thought it was too real.
Yeah, well,
and they showed blood and they showed people being decapitated and a whole bunch of other things. It's just really gross. And then when you actually look at it, it's like, oh, what is this orange blood? You guys said this was real?
Yeah, one of the famous ones in England for that was a video. I never saw it myself, but I remember people watching it at school called Faces of Death or something, and it turned out that pretty much 100% of it was fake.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I fired two limpets at this rock and they're not attaching.
I mean, he said all this about The Exorcist, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's another one, yeah.
Fainting in the theatres and everything, didn't he? 'Cause it was so scary. And now you watch it now and everybody laughs, you know.
I do.
Yeah, I think the
I do, Ella's guy.
original Halloween movie was described as like, you know, really gory, but there wasn't a bit of blood in the whole movie. But it still got an R rating.
Yeah, I was actually watching a documentary about that a couple of weeks ago because I'm not really into horror movies anymore because they don't give me the heebie-jeebies anymore. But I used to be really into horror movies when I was a kid, and Halloween was one of the biggest ones. And I used to say it years ago. I was like, I don't understand why this is so bad because it has no blood in it. Like, well, actually, apart from the girl who has no clothes on in bed, that I think there's not really anything in it.
Yeah, it was. It left it up to you to fill in the blanks, which tends to be more horrific. It was something that Alfred Hitchcock did a lot.
Yeah, I always.
In his movie.
There's a very particular shot in Psycho when Alba, I've forgotten his name now. Is it Albagast? The detective is going up the stairs, and there's a top-down view. And spoiler alert, people, you see the mother come running out the door to stab him, and I always thought that was a really freaky shot. Just the way it's positioned and everything. I hated it. I hated watching it. But again, you don't see anything.
It's kind of funny. Ready Player One it has every geek thing that I've ever been into in that movie. So I already liked it when I saw it, the trailer for it. But in the movie, they had something to do with The Shining, and then I was like, okay, well now I got to watch The Shining to get it. I don't get any of this.
Actually, yeah, The Shining. I won't spoil anything, but the ending of that was pretty freaky. But I also say at times that if you go back to the 80s, like children were pretty hard in the 80s because I've shown like movies that I watched in the 80s, like Ghostbusters, Gremlins, The Goonies, and stuff like that. When I try and show it to kids now, they freak out.
Yeah.
It's just, they're just not used to. I mean, I always say that Steven Spielberg in particular, some of his movies underneath are pretty dark. Does anybody remember the white ET lying in the lake bed or the riverbed or whatever? Or even the bit in Gremlins where the science teacher's kind of trying to entice the gremlin out with a Mars bar or whatever it is. Get down here. No, the point is, Dave, is that it's for my.
Wow, it
it's
takes
to
a long
help
time to fill up a cargo hold.
Help my back a little bit.
And I have like only 256 capacity.
Wait. What's happened here? Oh yes, okay, that's right. Yes. Okay. I've only got 256 actually. That's after my experience last time. American money, it's about $150 or something, Elitsgar, I think. Probably about $150 or something. $5,000. In all honesty, I'd have bought one myself, but this trip to America and other things to do with work this year, it's not really an option.
And what do I have in my refinery?
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if I don't make it. It was just a hope. Right, let's have a look at the other thing that I'm trying to. No, that's not what I'm looking at. I got really. I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't come across any of the osmium personally.
I think I got 1 ton of it.
Well done. Right, let's have a look.
That's going to be another failed.
But the thing is, these are bloody pristine rings as well.
And it's kind of funny because unless my filters are set up to ignore it, I don't have any osmium. But I've come across asteroids that say they have it, small amount, but they have it. But nothing's in my refinery either. So.
Yeah, I think it's that one that Zoomski came across, and that's it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any with a significant amount, like 3%, 2%.
So yeah, I do need to block some of these actually, because I've just realised they're really not worth anything. Like Galite, look at that. Abandon that. I really don't need it. That's why it's on the list. And I can hear it all coming in now, but let's get rid of it again.
Oh, too far off.
Palladium's really bad. Did I get the plus sub? No, I didn't. I haven't been able to, Dave. All my money at the moment, I'm going to America in a couple of months. So literally every penny I've got's going towards that at the moment. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I'll take this one.
I think probably. When are we in? Probably as the summer draws to a close, then I'll be able to re-evaluate various bits and bobs and try and work things out then, see what I can do for the stream, because I want to, you know, I've said it before, is that although I love Elite Dangerous and whatnot, it wasn't my intention to come. Whoa, it wasn't my intention to come here and do just Elite Dangerous. You know, I am a gamer and I do enjoy playing different stuff, so kind of really wanted to go down that route, but kind of money's been a bit tight and I've not been able to necessarily go down it as much as I would like. But what have we got here? Same stuff.
When's the retro stream, Swifty?
Oh, I will do another one this weekend. It's just because I've got exams and stuff at the moment. I'm not doing exams, I'm marking them, but it's just I haven't got the time to really sit down and do the research. And to be honest with you, I was doing so much research for Elite yesterday that other stuff got sidetracked. So I will do another one this weekend though. Maybe even tomorrow actually. If I have an hour or so aside tomorrow, I'll try and put it together.
Yeah, they were really good, you know. And I like the fact that you did more than one game as well, you know.
Well, originally I was thinking, you know, come Sega Genesis or Mega Drive and the SNES, I'll have to. I mean, you can't sit there for 2 hours playing the same game. But and there's a lot more games I'd like to try as well, actually. I don't remember them all half the time. Depleted. And I need to make sure I have memory cards set up. I'm going to be honest, my heart broke a little bit when I died in Resident Evil.
Yeah, because you did get pretty far, and then...
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
It was funny, really. I was talking to Mem, GXSR, whilst we were watching that, and you said something in it that really sort of was so true, and that is that some films could really learn from the cinematography in that game. Just the way it films everything, just the way it has the angles and the camera and stuff like that. It was so groundbreaking for that game when it came out.
It was, because it's essentially it was a horror game, but it always had that, even though it was like third person, some of the camera angles were always as though you were being watched. It's very Hitchcockian in that way. And which game was it? Silent Hill did a really good job of it. But obviously they'll have seen Resident Evil and kind of learnt from it. But
I think with Silent Hill, it had there was like an atmosphere about that game. Everything that you were doing had an atmosphere about it. And there wasn't a moment in Silent Hill where you could just chill out for a second and catch your breath, There was always a threat of something happening,
Yeah. But also in Silent Hill, there was the camera angle actually moved with you at times.
Yeah. It panned.
Which was really, really good. Oh, I don't know about that, Dave.
Did anyone ever play Command and Conquer?
Which one?
All of them.
All of them, yeah. I got them all. I got them all on that Steam sale where it sold all of them. So yeah.
Too tactical for me.
Well, that's why I'm really thinking of getting that Jurassic Park game, because I loved those real-time strategy games and all that. I used to play that, and there was a game called Total Annihilation too. I don't know if you remember that one, Bob.
Yeah.
I loved games like that, I really did. And SimCity and Civilization and all that.
I didn't mind like SimCity and stuff. I don't mind any of the business stuff. I like all that. Just terrible at the war strategy stuff. Which is strange, because in first-person shooters and military games, I'm actually not bad.
It's different though, isn't it? FPS is totally different to RTS. I've played quite a bit FPSs, but in all honesty, the only real FPS I really enjoyed was the Left 4 Dead stuff. Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2.
Well, I used to love the original Ghost Recon. I used to love that, but it was an incredibly difficult game. If the enemy saw you, you were basically dead.
Same with Hitman, isn't it? Hitman was like that. Later levels were just impossible, weren't they?
Like I say, I never minded that because I was actually quite good at it. Hitman, I'm always the new Hitman. I just remember getting really pissed off at it for some reason. Like I say, I'm getting old. I think I just want an easier life sometimes. Right, let's have a look. So we're going towards... Yeah, there we go. Put this one here.
I always remember getting Call of Duty for, what was it? Modern Warfare? Is that number 4, is it? I can't remember.
The first Modern Warfare, yeah.
And I was playing it with some friends. And the only reason why I got it was because a group of friends of mine had got it and they wanted to play it all together. And we were having fun. And then I had a friend turn around to me and he said to me, oh yeah, I played some Call of Duty this weekend. I said, well, I didn't see you on the server. And he said, no, I played the solo, the storyline. And I went, all right, is that any good? He says, have you played it? And I went, no. He says, go away and play the storyline. Oh, it blew me away. Completely blew me away. I didn't know that Call of Duty games had that good of, storyline.
The funny thing is, they're the first company who've said that they're going to that they're considering pulling away from it. They've said kind of like online is the way to go, and I think even Rockstar think that at the moment. They don't want to upset the solo player base.
When you've got a system that works so well in a solo mode, how do you turn around and begin to even comprehend doing it as a part of an MMO?
Well, because I mean, I know just from speaking to students and stuff, but I know from looking on the internet as well. When you look at something like GTA that is known for its storyline and how cool and fun it is, there is a ton of people playing it who've never touched the storyline ever. And the same with the Black Ops games. I know a ton of people who play Black Ops, they play Call of Duty, and they've never touched the storyline. I think it's the whole fruit machine thing. I think the quick death, survival, win, lose situation is just... It's so addictive that it becomes the only gameplay that you want to be involved in.
Yeah, pick up and put down gaming. Yeah.
I mean, it's really not for me, and I think they need to. Some of the games companies need to understand this as well, because I've been saying that I think the Red Dead Redemption, the storyline is going to be much longer than Grand Theft Auto 5, and I think that's because they did get a lot of really unhappy people after. From what I can work out, when you play Grand Theft Auto Online, it looks like they originally planned to have it as DLC, but then for one reason or another they've gone on and said no, we're going to do it all in the online mode, and they've actually gone back and rewritten some of the lines and had the actors come in and read them again. But they don't seem to fit quite in with the game. That's what tells me that they must have, at some point, they've thought, oh, we're going to release a DLC, but then they've said, oh no, we're going to put it all into the online mode.
Right.
But yeah, they were saying, oh, people complained about the story in Grand Theft Auto 4, and I'm like, I never read that anywhere. I never read people complaining about the length of the story. And that was their excuse for going forward with the online mode. I haven't played it either, actually, Kathina, to be honest. For Honor was free the other day as well, actually. I grabbed For Honor from Ubisoft. Oh cripes, we're not close enough here. But it's like I was saying about this game I was playing the other week, Detroit Become Human, where you know, I'm hearing people at IGN and other people saying, "Oh, David Cage is really onto something here, and it's a new concept." And it's not a new concept. He's been doing it for 12 years or something.
That whole concept is definitely not new. There's been stuff like that for years.
Yeah, there was Granny's Garden in the 80s.
I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed watching you play that. It was like I was watching a film. I literally sat there and ate crisps, that's potato chips for the Americans amongst us, and watched you play that game. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching you play that.
Yeah, I really loved playing it, but I knew, I mean, you know, I was raving for it for like 2 months before, and I was going on and on and on about it, because I knew they weren't going to let I knew they weren't going to let anybody down with it.
The only problem is, this is the only issue, is after I'd watched you play it, I was like, right, well, I don't need to get that because I've seen it.
Ah, well, I've actually avoided them, but you want to hear about some of the other endings?
Really?
I mean, there are some pretty severe endings you can go for. Yeah, it's definitely. Even they said that when people were talking about it originally, people were saying, "Oh well, it's so linear," and he was like, "No, it's far from linear. It's linear in the way that it works, but we've got. I think I don't know if there's something like anywhere up to 30 different endings."
I like how it shows that tree of your decision making.
Yeah, well, they never used to have that tree. They used to just you used to have to go back and try and find where you'd made a decision or you didn't make a decision, and they decided that they wanted to make it a bit more opaque for players to choose the direction they wanted to go. So they decided to kind of make it a little more open, so that even actually it's not even at the end of the mission. I can pause it in the middle of a mission if I so wish and see which direction I want to consider taking. But it was a really, really fun game to play. I really enjoyed every minute of it.
There's some really dark moments too during that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I took quite a nice route as well. So there's even darker routes you can take.
That bit where he's in the like the scrapyard of androids.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember watching that and thinking, "Oh my god, that is dark." With them all crawling around and still alive and stuff. That was just horrible. It was just freaky.
Yeah, it was really freaky, that part. Actually, that stuck out to me. The part as well where the guy wants you to shoot the android in the head. It just felt really weird.
I'm going to go ahead and go back to Lave, and I'm going to have to take off. Got dinner waiting for me.
All right, Scott. Well, thanks for joining in, and it's been fun having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, see you
Take
again.
care, Scott.
See you later.
Have a good night. And there is actually an ending where everybody can die.
Whoa.
So I don't know. I'll give it a few months and then go back and do another one. Kind of going down a different direction that I chose before, and then we'll see how that goes. Well, Kathina, it was something you said actually, and I've gone back and thought about it, and I thought that, you know, when you said you didn't like the fact that I was playing it being a dick just for the sake of being a dick, I think you were actually right. And the next time I play through it, I'm going to, how can I put it? I'm going to give the characters a different attitude overall. So not to play it just to be a dick, but for example, I might have Kara just be completely ice cold like a robot without any feelings, or, you know, or have Marcus that way. So Marcus is just like, I hate the humans, especially after another path you can take with his master. You can take another path with his master, and I think that could make Marcus really angry. So, you know, there's all those little things that I can kind of do to make it that little bit more interesting. But actually, Zoomski, if you've seen the other game they did as well, it's out of reach at the moment, but Beyond Two Souls, that was a really good one as well.
Yeah.
It had that. I can't remember the actress's name now. The girl from Juno.
Oh, really? I don't know. I'm still toying with the idea of getting that Jurassic Park. So I think that's the only thing that has literally turned my head away from Elite. So.
Yeah, like I said, I wrote them a very, 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 very nice email earlier.
I think they
Asked them
will,
about a
you
review
know. It's
copy.
in their best interest. Do you know who Paroxysm is?
I don't know. I kind of recognize the name, I think.
So, you know who Plater is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Plater is one of these people who received an email offering him the early release pack so he could stream it. It's the same thing that Obsidian Ant got. And he was doing his 24-hour live stream, for his charity. And he announced that he was going to be doing this Jurassic Park. And Paroxysm, who is also a fellow streamer, got really upset and was like, "What? Why did I get that email?" And then whenever Plater streams it, he always has a bit of a dig at Paroxysm and goes, "Just playing that game that they gave you for free that you didn't get."
I know that's the thing. I think they're really picky, and it's a shame that they're so picky about who they hand it out to, because I know that if you only have a few hundred subs, you're not considered an influencer, but you never know that person might end up actually being one of the big streamers for that game. One of the things I said in my email to them is that I put a lot of hours into the games specifically into the games that I stream. And then I went on to list how many hours I've put into Elite and things like this, and I'm really hoping that that they might just turn around and feel sorry for me.
At the end of the day, they need to be getting it out there as much as they can, and I can't see why giving you that pack, because I don't even know what you get. Do you get the full game, or do you get like a limited amount of time or something?
No, you get a full copy of the game basically.
Right.
But I mean, if you can offer them, I don't know, 12 hours a week of streaming, I mean that's not bad for them.
Yeah, it can't be bad.
Oh, it's depleted. What am I doing? They do floorboard. I'm not daft in that sense. I'm aware of how it is. But I also know of games companies that have actually given a copy of the game out to pretty much anybody who asked for it, who was streaming it. So I mean, I know it's a kind of a risky business, but it's also risky on the part of, for example, if you give it to somebody who's a really good streamer, right, and they're really, really good, and they have thousands of people, and you give a copy of the game and they hate it, that's not good for you either. I'm trying. I will not kiss the loach though, Kathina. I will not kiss the loach. Whoa. See, what I know the gaming industry have probably learned from Hollywood is that you only give the game to people who you know are going to give you decent feedback. So there's certain people in the Elite community who stream who got a copy of the game, and there's certain people who didn't. And I think, you know, unfortunately that's the way it is. Yep, that one.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Which part?
The giving it to people who will give you good feedback, because they gave it Yamix and he ripped it apart.
Oh, they did. I know. Well, this is the thing. I mean, that's the thing. They gave it to Yamix, but in general, they want to only give it to people who give them good feedback. You know, yes, as a streamer, you should be giving honest feedback, but that's not what the companies want. You know, you've heard about the whole Oscars thing where they get given presents. I think it's not the Oscars. Yeah, the Oscars, where the press get given presents before the Oscars, so that they don't say anything terrible.
Really?
Yeah, and even film premieres and stuff, Cannes and stuff like that. The press get given tons and tons of presents and put up in nice hotels and stuff. It's just the way it is. Do you mean add me to? Do you mean Steam, Flobod, or stream? You can come in the stream anytime you want, Flobod. Never gonna turn you down. Oh, Bob's dropped off the radar. What happened, Bob?
Nothing?
He just dropped for a second.
Oh. No, not that I'm aware of.
You're back now. I thought I had your floorboard, didn't I? What's your name on Steam, floorboard? Didn't I just add you? Is it floorboard? I had a nice single malt earlier, but a cheap one. You might, I think I found your floorboard actually. I thought I'd added you. Who is that? Welcome in, Budman, by the way. Did I fire off a thing for this? Oh, I just noticed you're watching on YouTube as well, Floorboard. What happened? I am streaming on Twitch as well. But I think, yeah, the funny thing is that like I was a really big fan of Jurassic Park when it first come out. I've watched every one of them, even though I've hated some of them. I've watched them all. And after Roller Coaster, what's it called?
Coaster. Yeah.
Coaster World? No. Roller Coaster something. I can't remember. But anyway, I played that. I played it on somebody else's computer, and it was I thought it was brilliant. So I knew that they wouldn't go wrong with the. I knew that they wouldn't go wrong with the Jurassic Park game.
Yeah, Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster, that's the one. It was Elite. Okay. Yes, it was. I've just come. I've just come to my senses. Oops.
My only, I mean, it's too early to tell, which is kind of one of the reasons why I've waited before I've purchased the game. But I'm wondering how accurate the dinosaurs are in the game to, you know, paleontology theory and information they have, you know. So when you build like a paddock for your dinosaur, if you build it a certain way, will it thrive a whole lot more based upon what we know about them in real life, you know?
Probably not so much, because it's based on, if you will, the lore of the movie and book. Movie and book, sorry.
Yeah, but there is a lot of paleontology in there, though, isn't there?
A lot of it's broke. A lot of it's broken.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know that raptors aren't that big, for starters. I know that.
Yeah, Dilophosaurus wasn't anything like it is. Gallimimus weren't anything like they were in the movie. So, I mean, there's that. There's also the fact that we now, like, people now think that dinosaurs may have been feathered as well. There's a lot of belief that they would have been feathered. So.
There's strong evidence to suggest that all the dinos that they got coming out of China.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot we still don't know about it, I suppose. So, but I think it's better that it sticks to how the book and movie were, personally.
It gives them a certain degree of artistic license, doesn't it, I suppose?
It does, but also it gives you something to be settled on, you know, like, the movies don't have feathered dinosaurs, so why suddenly introduce them in the game? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Dave. Let me ask. What update are we getting in 2 weeks? You know what I'm like. I never read the bloody news.
The Challenger. Some other stuff. I've totally forgotten.
Oh, you're as bad as me these weeks. So is it the is the mining update coming now then, or is that later?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
That'll be coming as part of the exploration stuff. You'll probably see that Q4.
So it's the 2 new ships then.
The unofficial ship, which everybody's saying is coming out, but nobody's really verifying it. So that's the Crate. But we are definitely getting the Challenger.
There you have it, people. You heard it here last. Come on. I'm getting a bit ticked off about this osmium. Oh, I've quietly collected a ton of it in the background, which I didn't know about. So, let's have a look. Do you play, I'm guessing, Flawboard, you play on PC, don't you? You play Elite on PC. I'll have to come into a stream sometime. Anybody's welcome to come into streams if you want to be honest. It's always nice to have people in. I'm not, how can I put it? I was going to say I'm not picky, but that sounds really, really bad. I didn't mean it to come out that way. I'm all for it, you know. If I go on a trip to somewhere and anybody wants to come along, that's good. You're not, are you on the Discord as well, Flawboard? I don't know if you're on the Discord. You should come and join us on Discord, definitely. A bit more goes on in there. Kind of off stream. I don't know if I'm going the wrong way here because of the sunlight. I'm losing that planet. Ah, no, there it is. Okay, so vaguely going in the right direction, but Zoomski's moving back. So hey, if you're dropping in the stream for the first time, come by and say hello. Oh, stream health's a bit down. I don't know what's happening. So if you're dropping in for the first time, come by, say hello in the chat. That's what it's there for. Dave's asking if you've got your gaming shed set up.
No.
Have you ever seen that? I've forgotten his name now. There's a guy who streams Euro Truck Simulator who has one hell of a, well, I say one hell of a setup. He's got about 15 hell of a setups.
Really?
He's got like he must be making a ton of money from streaming because he has a different setup for everything. He's got one setup for Farming Simulator, one setup for one setup for Euro Truck, one setup for Assetto Corsa. Like, is there any particular streamers that you really like, Baron?
Me? Yeah, I got quite a few streamers that I like.
Give us your top.
The vast majority of them, though, are elite streamers. So, yeah, I can go through them if you want me to.
Look, give us your top 3.
Okay, give me them up.
Better not be looking this up.
No, I actually have a list.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
Hey, JSXR.
I love Plater, Yamix, and who else do I like? There's a guy called Cheswolf who I like too, but he's not very well known, and he streams more than Elite now as well. But they're probably my top 3 that I enjoy, and yourself, obviously.
I was gonna. Oh, you were just by the skin of your teeth getting kicked there.
I was waiting for you to tell me off for that, but yeah. So, see what I like about you though, Swifty, is that you are far more approachable than those other guys. You know, I can say hello to Player and he knows who I am, and Yamix knows who I am, but I can't go on their stream and like be a part of their community because there's so many people who do stuff. You know, but with you, you're very accessible, and being a part of this community is a great thing because you can mean something to the community. I always think that smaller communities have a place with gamers because it makes them feel like they can be part of something, you know.
I get what you're saying. I actually think even in large communities there is space. It just has to be done right. Like, Discord is a really underutilized tool by a lot of people. It really is. Like, to get your community to come together and do stuff. I underutilize it myself. But yeah, I try to be as approachable. Like I say, anybody who wants to pretty much drop in the stream can drop in. I have no problem with it. I always worry about taking people on trips.
There is another streamer who I thoroughly enjoy watching, but recently he's kind of moved away from Elite, which really upsets me because he kind of inspired me to get into the whole war. And he's a Twitch streamer called DJ Truthsayer, and he runs one of the largest Twitch gaming communities called the Sovereignty, and they're huge on Elite. They got loads of people. And when I started watching his stuff a good 8, 9, maybe 11 months ago, he was the guy who got me into the lore of Elite. He was the guy who inspired me to go away and begin to read the books and learn about what was actually happening in the game. and it's great. But nowadays he doesn't stream Elite very often. He tends to stream other things and do other stuff on his stuff and everything. But he's brilliant, and he knows the lore like the back of his hand. He really does. Yeah, he can tell you without even looking at notes. He can tell you like the timeline of Elite and what happened, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So he's pretty impressive to hear him talking about the lore of Elite and stuff. So yeah, that's another streamer that I really like.
Hey Mem, welcome in. I kind of don't really have a top 3. Well, I do actually. I think the 3 I think I visit the most is there's obviously Obsidian Ant. I watch pretty much most of his stuff. It's kind of right down my street, and I like Ghost Giraffe as well actually. But that's kind of for Elite. Then there's a guy called 357 who does videos for The Division, and I would say he's kind of like the Cathena of The Division. And he just I don't know, he just cuts through the crap so much better than everybody else. And can just take your builds through the roof. You know, like if you're a bit like me and you're not sure what you're doing, or you're doing it half-assed. So I really like him. And then my final one, who really kind of got me into the idea of streaming, was Nerd Squared. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't.
So this is a guy who basically picks up a game and just plays it for want of a better word, for shits and giggles. But he's actually an incredibly gifted comedic person at the same time. So he does it so well, and I recommend anybody look out for him, because some of his things are really good. He actually did one Jurassic Park the other day, which I've yet to watch, because he's like me. He will have just got that game and thought, right, how do I get all the dinosaurs eating all the people?
Yeah. There's something to be said here, because I got some people ask me questions sometimes about streaming, and they say, you know, what can you tell me about streaming? If people wanted to start streaming, what would they want to do? And what I always tell them is stream often, but also understand the difference between streaming and content creation. You know, streaming is very different to content. Content creation gets you your views and your subscriptions based on its content alone, whereas streaming is what you're doing now. You're interacting with people. And there's a guy on Twitch who's part of the Sovereignty called Bognogus, and you watch his stream art, how he interacts with people whilst he's playing the game. It's really impressive to see. He's so good at it, and I learned an awful lot through watching him on how to talk to people and you know, be constantly interacting with people in the chat whilst you're playing the game. It's really impressive.
Yeah, that's really good. Yes, I have got it, Flobot. I've just sent you a message, actually. I just thought I'd say hello. But yeah, anybody who's watching the stream, actually, I'd highly recommend Nerd Squared. I think that's how you'd say it, but you just have to put nerd in, because he has a weird thing. And he actually he had a bit of a, how can I put it? He had a bit of a burnout last year, and actually stepped away for a couple of months, and then he came back and kind of changed the way he does his thing. But like I say, he's just generally a really comedic person, so like his videos are really fun to watch, and they're all pretty bite-sized as well, which I like.
Well, people watch streams for lots of different reasons. Like, I always say that when I watch Plater and Yamix, I watch Plater because I get to learn things about combat and about builds of ships and things like that. That's not why I watch Yamix though. I watch Yamix because he makes me piss my sides, because he makes me laugh. Yeah, I don't watch him for anything he's doing in the game. It's just the way he brings himself over and the message he gets. You know, it just makes me giggle. You know.
Yeah, I didn't like him at first, and then he kind of grew on me after a while. So I don't mind watching his streams now as much. I didn't like watching him at first, but now I like him. Right, I need to get this right. So Prospector first. Downloads off for Steam. Ooh, hang on a sec. Didn't even know I had them on
Interaction with
Floorboard.
stream, interaction with chat is one of the reasons why I watch you.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, obviously, I haven't got 50,000 people messaging me at the same time. I hate missing messages. Hate it. Right, let me just have a look, Floorboard, because I actually thought I had it turned off.
Is your stream just gone offline, mate?
Has it? Oh, it'll come back, I think. Then I went off. Okay, what's happening? What's happening here? Right, hang on a second.
Oh, you're really lagging there, mate.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Going on.
It looks pretty bad. I'm just gonna have a look. I think Floorboard sent me something, and I don't know if it's. I don't know what I've done. It's really strange. I haven't got anything turned on or off. Downloads. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Hey, no, Floorboard, don't apologize. Just 1 second. It's still flashing, so people have to just bear with me for a moment while it's doing that. Really bizarre, because actually my computer can more than handle it. Okay, it's back up. Right, sorry about that. Okay, so. Oh, it is Steam. Okay, I get you. Okay, so you know that it does that. Okay, so. Okay, so. It's strange how it affects. It's not affecting Discord, is it?
No, I can hear you fine, mate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the Discord actually takes very little of your bandwidth.
Yeah, I can use.
The thing is, I'm not actually physically downloading anything. That's what's shocking me.
But Steam might be doing its updates in the background. It's a real git for doing that.
Okay, I think it's come back up. I think it's come back up. Okay, it looks like it's gone back up. Right, okay, people, just to fill you in. If the stream's coming through all right, is Floorboard, who's dropping into the stream there, has actually just gifted me. Floorboard, who's in the stream, has just gifted me Jurassic Park. So
Oh, that was nice of him.
that's really, really nice of him. And yes, Floorboard, I will be streaming it, and I'll download it tonight, and then I'll stream it definitely sometime over this weekend for sure. So I'll just make sure it's on there. Yeah, it's doing some type of update, but it is dropping it in. So he says he hijacked my porn device, but I don't have any porn on my computer. You stream it all these days. So yeah, that's I've gone offline now. My stream's gone offline again now.
Swifty, you've gone very quiet compared to Zoomski.
Okay, it's probably I'm not speaking into the microphone correctly, I think.
That was better.
Okay, so right, the stream should be back now. Actually, it's back better than ever. It's 11 megabytes. Okay, so yeah, no, he did warn me. I just didn't I didn't get around to turning it off. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Floorboard. I'll definitely be making some stuff on that. And then if Frontier give me a key, Zoomski, I'll you know. No, seriously, Floorboard, thank you very much, and at least I swear you'll get your money's worth out of it as well. Right, okay, so wow, that's the second time somebody's come into this stream and actually made me shut up. I was talking about somebody about this today, about trying to be nice sometimes to people. It's always a good thing. I mean, Floorboard, you had to give me Jurassic Park because we can't share the whiskey. That's the thing, you know it's that. But if ever you come over to Spain, I'll be the first one to buy you a whiskey. Right, so let's have a look. Let's go back to that and prospect this. Oh no, I prospected it. Okay, so I've already done that one. Right, all my limpets are dead. I will, Floorboard. Yeah, one of the reasons why I was actually looking forward to it, because there's definitely certain things I want to kind of have a look at it. Really have a really good look at it as well. Because I was saying before that when I was a kid, well, not even a kid, I think I was a teenager actually. I was just fell in love with the movie straight off the bat, and I think next to Ghostbusters, it's probably my most watched. The original is probably my most watched movie of all time. Yep. So yeah, I'll definitely get in on the getting in on the streaming of it. You don't drink whiskey? I thought you always have a dram.
I wonder what time sunrise is around here. I'm haven't got a clue where I'm going now.
It's getting dark, innit?
I like it when it's dark. You can turn off your wing beacon and sneak up on people. Well, what's your preferred tipple then, Floorboard? Did you see what Kathina said?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a Type 9, Kathina. I've got 3 of them now.
You'd think this far in the future they'd have something better than headlights on your ship, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a lot more. I'm mining this and then I've realised I'm not mining it correctly. Right, hang on. Okay, let the limpets do their thing. So let's see what we've got. I wish it would give you a tally at the bottom. I really do. Well, you get what I mean. It's the oh, what the hell is that? Is that a rock coming towards me? You know, whatever it might be. Brandy grappa. I don't know why have I lost? Ah, that's why. Actually, it's getting seriously dark. I've just looked at the planet and I can't actually see anything.
Same here.
It's like wherever
Blackout.
I can see Zoomski because of his wing, but I can't see anything else. Actually, there's a question I don't know about Zoomski, if you know the answer to. The moons cascade light back onto the asteroid fields?
Well, they should do, because you get moon reflection, don't you? So it should do, yeah.
Pick a better one next time. Bob, actually, do you have any favourite streamers?
Ant. And yourself, of course. I like Scott Manley.
So is what got you into Elite then?
I used to play the original.
The original?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, but back then, Zoomski would have been a glint in the milkman's eye, I think.
I don't think so, mate. I was young, but I wasn't that young. When you say you played it, did you mean you did more than actually take up from the pad and let the tower know that you were taking off from the pad?
No, I mean, I used to do all the things that you could do in Elite. In fact, the furthest I managed to get was to Dangerous, and that was about it.
Wow.
The funny thing is, I played the original as well, and I've said it before that I actually only played it because at the time, I was young, and I was kind of really into money, and I wanted to. When I grew up, I wanted to work in the stock market or in advertising, somewhere where I could make lots of money. Times have changed, but that's what I used to think back then. And I used to have a stock market game, put money on the stock market and then get some back. And then somebody said, "Oh yeah, there's this space game, and in this space game you can buy things low and sell them high." And that was it. I was hooked.
That's exactly the same reason why I got it.
It just felt all this virtual being a virtual cash millionaire. Oh wow, did you,
I'm
Flobod?
scraping against things now. I can't see what I'm doing.
Have you got a shield?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you play Granny's Garden
I
at
can
all,
see you.
Flobod?
But unless something's immediately in front of my lights, I can't see it.
I can see Zoomski, but he's like 50 kilometers away, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I got him on my... I can't even name it anything.
No, you have to just go forward and hope something suddenly appears.
Give it a try.
No, I don't think so, Flobber. Did you not play? Did you play Granny's Garden on the BBC floppy? I remember it. We had them in. They were our school computers. We used to play at lunchtime. I just remember Granny's Garden was the big thing. I'm just talking on the stream about Granny's Garden, but I don't know if either of you will know that one. It was on the BBC Micro.
Good God! What a blast from the past that is.
Yeah, well, essentially, that's what Detroit Almost Human is. Essentially, you make choices, and the game either puts you into the witch's hands or the crocodile's mouth. I found osmium.
Oh, well done.
Only took 2 hours, but 36%.
I can't even find an asteroid now.
Ah, there you go, Flobard.
Around here.
Not far off each other, are we?
Found one.
Oh well, you never get rid of that.
Hey.
Never get rid of that. Okay, so well, tomorrow night, people, I'm gonna have to stream Jurassic World. I don't think I could do anything else tomorrow night.
So I'll be watching.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, I hope they don't bounce off that asteroid. Please don't bounce off it. Ah, damn it. That's my own fault. Alright, I can put more out, but it's just a bit of a pain in the backside. I think I might lose a ton of them here. Ah, you're not far off me then. I'm 40. Are we on an odd or an even year? I stopped counting, mate. I honestly stopped counting. When everybody started asking so much, I just stopped counting. I'm 40 this year. I was 40 this year. The big 4-0. Apparently. Middle age. The middle age. Right, where's that? I'm hearing... Oh, we got 2 rocks here, so... If that one has osmium, maybe this one has osmium. Maybe. Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, and I certainly will. I'll use it while I can, because as I said before, that it's not just Elite that I like. I like playing games in general, and I just think the way that I sometimes play them is nice for other people as well, because I don't take myself too seriously. And apart from that one time I threw the controller at the floor, but to be fair, it was on its way out anyway, so and we're all allowed to go a little crazy sometimes. I have to chip that thing off. I don't like the way that's spinning. Actually, no, this might be a good spot. If I go a bit higher, get it on the spin axis, I might be alright here. There we are. Let's push forward and round a little bit. I'm not happy totally with this position. Right, well, that's a good one. So yeah. Yeah. Just thinking that. The only thing is, nobody wants to get to the end level.
End level boss.
How come he gets a scythe? Oh, I wish I
Just
could join.
imagine him sign up. No, I don't want to play chess. Load up Elite and count your eagle. Best of 3.
I just know if he ever comes for me, I'll just be like, can you not just come back in the morning, please? I'm trying to sleep. I've tried to get them to pass me as medically crazy floorboard, but they're not easily fooled. Still got 4%. Right. Why is nothing moving? There is stuff out there because I can bloody see it, and these lazy bastards are sat there doing nothing. Oh, it's because it's ignored. Okay, well, seeing as it's getting on a bit, I'm gonna remove these from the ignore list and collect them. Oh, the refinery's full. The hell's it full of? Urinite. That's when you go to the toilet on a rock. Oh, it's 92. Well, I'm not gonna do any more, so I don't know if I should. I will be alright, I think. Okay, what have we got? Uranite and silver. Okay, we'll dump uranite. Give up some space, and we shall dump galite, so we can get the rest of that stuff. Bob, did you, when I last did some of the surface site stuff, did you do the inner bases with me?
I did some of them with you, yeah. You were thinking of doing them again, weren't you?
I am. I'm going to go back and do them again, I think, just to...
When were you thinking of doing it?
Maybe sometime starting next week. Yeah, this week there's there's too much work to get to kind of do that. But I'll definitely look at it next week. Cause
let me know then, and I'll join you if you want.
okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be nice. XCOM 2 is it's not the game one, is it? It's still let me have a look. No, yeah, it's the game one. Yeah, okay, so it's the top down one. Okay, sorry about that, Kathina. I played the XCOM one, which was like set in the 60s or whatever. Can't remember which one that was.
I can't see a thing now. I don't know which rock I mined, which one I haven't.
Okay, lads, so I have strategically placed 15 tons of osmium into the darkness. Off you go, lads.
You're too kind. Silhouette of a rock.
Well, I didn't start very well. I blasted straight towards Bob, so that's no good. You've done it 50 kilometers away.
I have got some osmium though for you guys. So.
I think Bob should take it because I took that one before.
No, you carry on. I'm gonna make a move back to leave now.
Oh, Bob, did you know you can see the asteroids on your radar when you get too close, so you can avoid them?
Only if you've got a limpet attached to it.
No, they show up. I'm blasting along now and I can see them.
All I can see are your limpets fly.
On the radar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Strange. I can see rocks flying past all the time now.
The only ones that I've seen are the ones that where I've attached Prospector limpet to.
Ah, maybe it's the ones Zoomski's. No, I can't imagine he's attached that many though. But maybe he has.
I am Prospector heavy. Or happy. Whatever the fucking word is.
No, I don't think you've done this many though. But I'm flying along and it's kind of, I can see them coming up. I'm flying blind and just looking at the radar.
No, I'm right in front of one now and it's not showing up on my radar.
I wonder if it's something I've got on my ship. Oh, where did that come from?
I'm starting to mine rocks that you've mined now, Swifty.
Yeah, I was mining my own rocks earlier as well.
Yeah. Right.
Don't worry about a floorboard. It's honestly it's not a problem. I just saw your message. Seriously, it's not a problem.
You got those collectors out, mate?
Yeah. Yes. You get to watch them fly.
Why are they not flying?
Oh, let me see. Did you abandon them or jettison them?
I abandon them?
I think you have to jettison them.
Oh, really?
I think.
What, have I just got rid of it all? Oh, sorry, mate. I
Yeah.
got rid of loads there. I thought if you abandon them, it means you can pick them up.
No, abandoning them is getting rid of them. Jettisoning them is just kind of throwing them out in space. But I only learned about that through another stream.
There you go. Lesson learned.
I only learned about myself through another stream, so don't worry about it. It's it happens.
Sorry, mate. I had about 34 of them for you.
34 tons? Oh god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home to bed and cry.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's not your fault. Okay, well, I'll head back to Lave as well and sell this stuff off, see how much we get. I don't think I'm gonna have a whole load. How did you manage to come across so much then, Zoomski? Is there any particular tips?
No, I just flew around and found them and mined them.
I think maybe in the future I should send a few more prospectors out.
We tried hard once.
That's what she said, Bob. Right, okay, Lave.
See you back at Lave.
Okie dokie. I just realised I can actually leave Lave now. Go back home.
We can try cargo scoop.
Oh, where's the trajectory then? Oh, for God's sake. Right, okay, there we go.
Engage super cruise.
Wow, look at all these asteroids full of osmium now. You two have left.
Are you serious?
No.
Ah, right, okay. I was just thinking, because don't forget, we had the osmium. It must be something like, if you pick up a mission, I bet it's harder to come by.
Engage super cruise.
I think you're right. I think this game takes into consideration what is in your mission transactions and also what's in your inventory. Because when you get missions and you're looking for missions that are asking for what you already have in your inventory, they never come up.
I'm thinking that in the future what I might actually do is go to the stations, look at what they're looking for, then go out and get it, and then try and pick the missions up when I come back.
Well, it's a really classic example because you two had missions and hardly got any. And here I am with no missions and I had 34 tons.
Yeah, definitely a connection.
So something's going on there, isn't there? So
Yeah, you know who it is, don't you? Wait. Hi, I'm doing it again. Right, okay. Did I just fly into the sun? Right, I flew into the sun because I was checking the stream, people. It's dropping in and out again, so I'm going to call it a night. Oof, yeah, it's really dropping in and out, so I don't actually even think that's... I don't even think that's anything to do with Steam. Is it anything to do with Steam?
Run diagnostics.
No. Okay, well, it's come back up now. I don't know if it's actually anything to do with... No, I don't think that's Steam floorboard. I think that's... I think that's something I'm doing stupidly. So, no. I don't know. Oh, that's good. Boost while you're... idiot. Could this be another one of those streams when I go up in flames? I hope not. Oh, I could. I'm up to 200. All integrity compromised. No, 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 no. Go, 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 go. Docking computer. I've nearly blown myself up again.
What?
So I've basically broken everything. Smashing into a sun. It's okay, I'm surviving now. But, oh no! Don't! You're joking. Okay. I'm just gonna go to bed before I get angry. So I think it's jettisoning, or it's trying to jettison my cargo at the moment.
Oh, it's not affected your modules and it's affected the cargo hatch.
That's what it's saying. I'm gonna try and get back before it chucks it all out, but I've lost my docking computer.
Oh my lord. You're cursed, mate, when it comes to mining.
I know Floorboard thinks it's his fault, but it's not. It's not your fault, Floorboard, it's me. And you know what, I've said it before. I am called Swifty, and generally in situations I do get out of them, so I think I'm going to be alright, don't worry. Although I have just done the loop of shame now. Never get in a car. Hey, I'm still standing. Yeah, it is Commander Glass. Can't remember when I last rebooted actually. But the stream's alright now, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty higher than it was last week. The funny thing is, I've got a setting in Steam to tell it not to do anything, but you know what they're like. Not Steam, I mean, just things in general.
You okay, Swifty?
Yeah, I think I survived it. It probably just chucked my osmium out. It kept the iron, I'm sure. The only tricky part is I've now got to not dock in a Type 9.
Can't you repair it?
No, I haven't got an AFMU.
You do a reboot?
Don't know if that works, I can try. No, it's completely offline, I think. There's actually not even an option to repair it. I'll get in, I'll be alright. I'm quite good actually at docking, I just don't like doing it.
I'm waiting outside the dock for you.
What, to get a good view of the show?
I'm just trying to figure out if there's something I can do to help.
Nah, I honestly...
Can't repair limpets or something.
I think I'll get in. I just have to take it slowly. I think the good news is my boosts don't work. Oh, there is some type of firefight now though outside the station. You might want to scoop up what he leaves behind, Bob. Probably not the best time to boost, but you know, it is what it is. Right. Wow, this is going to take forever to get in, actually, because all my boosters are broken, I think.
You're on course, Commander. Ground crew are on standby.
I can only do 39 kilometers per hour, though. That's the problem. No, I can't. I can do faster than 39 kilometers now. I'm just being an idiot. Right, okay, there we go. It's a bit rough, but we're alright. There we go. Bring out the old landing gear. Have to reverse up a little bit, I think. That'll be alright. Scott missed the best bit.
For the safety of all visitors, be considerate of other vessels passing through the main access corridor.
Okay, I'm down. I mean, down on the landing pad, not down. Get lost, Elliscar. Elliscar just posted a picture up in the chat of a bag of popcorn. See you later, J6R or Mem. I should just keep on saying Mem. I think my hull repair's more than I've actually got from the mining. Let's see. So yeah, we'll see. See what we've got. So we got 100,000. That's not the best. I don't think I can put in any of those Osmian ones. I know I can go to the toilet now. I know that much. Could have made a diamond then. Oh wow, Painites sells for a lot. Right, okay, so that's all gone. Gonna have to take the hit for these because I'm gonna get a hit on these. But I'm never gonna be doing these missions. And yeah, that one. Okay. But I don't think I got any bromolite either. Yeah, stop moaning. Oops. I'm gonna get Lave network unhappy with me, but I won't be coming back to Lave for a while, so it's really not actually an issue. Oh, I've got claim as well. Wing trade claim. Yeah. Hey Volheinz, I am. Too much time, Commander Class. Welcome in, by the way, Volheinz. I know this is your first time, so welcome in. And they were just all like, I got ahead of myself and really didn't look at what I was doing. So, although I did have a good ship today, which was well kitted out. Okay, children, I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks everybody for coming into the stream. Thanks for chatting, and obviously a big thank you to Floorboard, who has gifted me a copy of the new Jurassic Park game, which I am going to be streaming from tomorrow. So be sure to be sure to check out that stream tomorrow evening, and it'll start tomorrow evening. I'll have to look into that a little bit, and then I'll also do a stream of it across the weekend. So thank you so much for dropping in, Volheinz. If you click that subscribe button, join me tomorrow or the next day, and I'll be sure to speak to you in stream. So until then, 9-7 everyone.
I've just clicked out of that. I don't know what it is on my desktop that's actually making sound right now, because I thought I had everything turned off, but something's still making sound. So it'll be the video itself. There we go. We'll knock that off. Okay, so I'm just going to move my face a little bit, so I don't want to scare you all too much or whatnot, but of course we just received the really sad news today that Commander Zoomski passed away. I'm really trying not to get too emotional here, because I didn't know him very well away from the internet, but the person that I met on the internet was a really, really good person who, in my very early days of streaming, helped me a lot and gave me, even though he'd been doing it for a short time as well, just gave me kind of a little bit of direction, and kind of gave me a lot of pats on the back when I kind of needed them, because back then the viewing figures weren't necessarily that high and things like this. He also really helped me out with a lot of background stuff, because I didn't read into the lore a lot myself, so he kind of filled in a lot of the lore for me, which was extremely helpful. He also supported the stream for a long time, even when he stopped actually kind of hanging around. He continued to be really, really supportive. We talked a few times about various things, and I don't want to go into too much of it because it's kind of personal now looking at it, but I don't know what to say, because I can't say anything that's ever gonna make any of his friends or his family feel better about the situation. I don't know if I can say things that mean anything. It's just a really, really sad situation that somebody who was such a good person has kind of, has very graciously, I think if that's the word, I don't know if the word graciously is correct, but kind of gone into the ether without too much fanfare, and it's a little bit sad that he didn't let us know, at least, so we could have done a stream, something with him one last time. This was the first stream really that when I heard that I could find and post, and I'm glad that a lot of people have kind of stuck it out, because it was a really long stream, this one. We did a few others. That there was one with a visit to a Thargoid site where he kind of took a lot of us on a tour of a Thargoid site. There was others where he was filling us in on lore about the game. So there was an inner site where he was filling us in about lore of the game. And just even away from the stream, we managed. You could talk for hours about lore and about things that were in the background of the game. He was kind of really into all that stuff, whereas I'm not. I'm kind of a plug and play type person. I just like to turn it on and do it, And it's just really sad that we've lost somebody like him. And I just want to thank him for everything that he's done in my streams, and I'm sure that he brought to other people as well. He's a really, really nice guy. Like I said, I didn't know him off stream, so in theory people will say, well, you shouldn't be sad, but listening back to the conversations we were having throughout that stream, we're just for the love of this game, and for the love of gaming in general as well. He's just a really good person, and it's a really sad situation. I know it happens. I know, you know, I'm not young enough to not understand that that's how life works now, and it happens more and more the older you get and things like that. I totally understand that. I think it just sometimes it's a bit harder when it's somebody that's younger than yourself, or someone who that's in the same ballpark as yourself. I think maybe it hits home a little bit more so than with others. And well, I'm gonna sign off, but I just want to really raise a glass and say 97 Commander Zoomski. I'm sure a lot of people, even away from stream, away from all of this, I'm sure there's a lot of people are gonna miss you. I was sure I was gonna stay stern for this. So angry with myself. So everybody who's part of the 97th Squadron, or people who even just follow the 97th Squadron, just, you know, in-game, name a ship after him, visit one of the last places that he visited, and just, you know, just trying to live, just trying to do one last memory for Commander Zoomski. I'll say 97.